Welcome, and we are live with the community. This is the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Development bi-weekly call. Today is July 18th. Oh my goodness, the next call will be in August. How did we get this far into the year already? It's because we're having fun, everybody. Time flies. My name is David Warner. I'm Acquisitive, and I will be your host for the day. So let's talk about what we're going to talk about. We're going to get the latest updates on the community. We're going to talk about PNP.NET libraries and PowerShell, the latest on Microsoft Teams Toolkit. We're going to talk about some script samples, some team samples, some Power Platform samples, lots of samples, and then, of course, everyone's favorite time, that's picture time with Together mode. So get those fantastic faces ready to go. Then we're going to have three amazing presenters today. Syed is going to be here to talk about how to build an Office disinfect tracker with Power Apps and SharePoint. Anna is going to cover how to automate record creation with data extraction and AI summarization using Power Platform. And Maddie is back from Takeda. He's going to be talking about collecting custom feedback on Copilot Studio's generative answers. So we look forward to all the AI goodness today and all the Power Platform. It's fantastic. Now, you may be thinking, what's this community all about? Well, we got lots of resources available to you today. We've got our Microsoft Community Learning videos. That's a YouTube channel that provides tons of value. We'll talk about that more in a moment. We've also got LinkedIn group for discussion. So if you want to communicate and collaborate with other members of the community, you can do that within our LinkedIn group. We've got open source tooling, things like CLI for Microsoft 365, PNP.JS, lots of other fantastic resources. And of course, we mentioned samples. We got tons of samples, team samples, SPFX samples, Power Platform samples, list formatting samples. The samples go on and on and on. But don't worry, there's lots of links in front of your eyes. You don't got to remember all of them, just one of them. ak.ms/community/home will give you access to all of this goodness. And guess what? It's absolutely free. None of this stuff is charged for, and we're all contributing to it, so it's a wonderful community opportunity. Now, I talked about that LinkedIn, or excuse me, that YouTube channel, the new Microsoft Community Learning channel. We say new, folks, but it's kind of, it's kind of not new. It's just renamed. We did this because we wanted to be more inclusive to all the technologies that we'll be hosting and demoing, showing off on that channel. So while Microsoft 365 and Power Platform are just two of those technology stacks, we'll have even more. So things like Copilot and Dynamics, lots of great information to be available. So definitely go get signed up. If you're not already subscribed, please do that. You can access it at ak.ms/community/YouTube. Now, if you're on this call, it's probably because you like community calls. Well, we've got plenty more. We have our Microsoft 365 and Power Platform weekly call. Now, just a heads up, this is on a summer break. We were on a break. It's going to be back on the 3rd of September. This is only the Tuesday call that's on break, everybody. And this is Microsoft Speaker. So that means you're going to get that directly from the horse's mouth. That's right. That horse up in Seattle. That is going to be those program managers, those project managers, platform managers. They're going to show you all the goodness that they're working on, and that is weekly. But again, it's on break until the 3rd of September. We've got our Power Platform monthly call. It just happened yesterday, so if you happen to miss it, guess what? It's already available on demand. Where? The Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel. See what we do there? Then you got the Office add-ins, and of course our bi-weekly Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community, which you're on now, and our Viva Connections and SharePoint Framework. Those happen each and every Thursday, bi-weekly for each of those topics, so they flip-flop. But those are not on break because we're all here right now, and we will continue to be here. This does not end. That does not go on a summer break. The Thursday calls are alive and well and will be forever. So if you'd like to get the invites, all you got to do is go to ak.ms/community/calls, download those ICS files, get them on your calendar. These calls are the best way to stay in touch with what the community is doing with the technology. Gives you a fantastic perspective on how you can use all the goodness that we use within the Microsoft stack. Now, if you'd like to request to present, this is open for everyone. We've got some new presenters on the call today. We've got some veteran presenters, but they were new presenters. We welcome everyone. Don't overthink this, everybody. It doesn't have to be some amazing cause for world peace or what solves world hunger or what makes time travel possible. Great Scott! You don't have to worry about that. If you've got a cool, fantastic feature, or you've got a utility you've created, or an app, or you found something out that you wowed yourself with, share it with the world. I promise you there are always new ones in the community that are going to benefit by the information that you're sharing. It's a great way to get a contribution. If you're looking to get into maybe other events or some of those community events or conferences, this is a great opportunity to kind of start honing in those skills. So Absolutely, everyone is welcome. If you're looking for a buddy, let us know that too. We can buddy you up with another MVP or a member of the community. You can even present together, and it'll be a fun opportunity to collaborate. Again, everyone is welcome. ak.ms/community/request/demo rolls right off the tongue, and we'll hook you up. Now, as you're getting involved, you may wonder, well, what are some of these things like these samples, and where do they get put, and how do they get submitted, and who does them, and what is all this stuff? Well, I promise you, we're here for you on that too. So we've got our Sharing is Caring initiative. We just had one a couple weeks ago. We're getting that new sessions scheduled out. But essentially, these are live hands-on events that we join into Teams calls like this one, and we walk through how to accomplish the specific task. So if you're trying to submit a sample and you got to use that hub of gets or that GitHub thing, talks about forks and blame and raw and pull requests. What is all this? Sounds like a fight. Well, don't worry. We'll walk you through it live, and we'll actually have you submit your own first contribution via GitHub using a pull request. It's absolutely free, and it's 100% safe space. We don't record it at all, so you can feel free to ask any and all questions that you like without the fear that it's going to be recorded forever. I know I oftentimes am afraid to do that because I think, should I already know this answer? But no, because we all got to learn from somewhere. So keep an eye out, ak.ms/sharing is caring. That will give you the quickest way to get signed up for the next sessions, which I promise, will be getting scheduled out this week. And of course, once you do contribute, well, guess what? You're going to get recognized because we got our recognition program. This is a formal and official program powered by Credly using accredited badges that can be associated to your LinkedIn profile, put on Twitter, put on your blogs, added to your resume, and they matter. They let your bosses, your clients know that you're making a difference. You're taking the extra step. You are involved in making a difference in the technology. It is a great way to show that you're achieving more within the scope of the community, and we cannot appreciate it as much as we can. So this is one way that we do that. It is absolutely free. We cover the cost with Credly, so you don't got to worry about that. It's 100% free. We do need you to opt in though, ak.ms/community/recognition, and then we'll track GitHub with all your contributions and reward you. All right. Copilot prompts. This is a cool new prompt library that is being created by Rabia Williams and her team. It's a wonderful way to start getting ideas on how to create prompts within Copilot. I know there's also a Power Platform prompts that April Dunham is running. So we got a lot of prompt opportunities. Take a look at that, ak.ms/PNP prompt library. And we want to recognize our prompt of the week. This is from Andrew Jolly. It's around Mermaid.js. He's got a couple of different steps. So the first one's kind of lengthy. We got the second one here, using the steps to find in the previous response, prepare. It's a multi-step process for Mermaid.js diagram. So pretty cool. Absolutely great job, Andrew. Thank you so much for your passion and sharing this with the community. We love to recognize folks in the community for doing great work, and this is one of the ways that we're doing that. Okay, let's move into some project-specific updates. Bert is on a well-deserved vacation, so we'll get more updates on .NET libraries when he returns. But just as a reminder, version 1.15 is out, support for .NET 8 on the framework. And version 1.12 is out with also support for .NET 8 on the core SDK side. So a ton of usage on this, 114,000 tenants doing 56 billion requests in May 2024. That is amazing. So thank you, Bert, for all the work there. And we look forward to updates when he gets back. Now let's move over to PNP PowerShell with Gautam.
Hey, David, thank you so much. In PNP PowerShell 2.5.0 is released, so do check it out now. It contains quite a lot of important changes as well as security updates, so highly recommend that you update your modules to the latest one as well. What else? In the latest nightly builds, we improved the set and clear PNP default value commands. We also improved the get PNP file sharing link, so whenever you want to share the file, we generate a link for that. We find out all those links which are shared with end users. So we have made it better to handle better inputs like file ID as well as the file list item. Besides that, we also improved the set PNP tenant command as well to add support for setting the default share link scope as well as the default share link role as well, those properties as well. What else? Feel free to reach out to us on the discussion forum as well as on the issue list. Yep, that's all. Over to you, David.
Awesome. Thank you, Gautam. All right. As it flies away, let's move over to Teams Toolkit. I believe John is here. Can you unmute John? John. Can't unmute. Raise your hand for me, John, so I can see you at the top because Teams does not show you at all. There we go. All right, hold on. Let me get you unmuted here. All right, there you go. You should be good to go.
Nice. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you sound great.
Perfect. I don't know about great, but okay, so Teams Toolkit, we have some recent releases. If you're not familiar with Teams Toolkit, these are our pro code tools to help you build Teams apps, M365 apps, custom Copilots, API MEs, all sorts of great stuff across M365. So take a look at that. We have extensions in VS Code, VS, and we have the Teams App CLI. There's some releases that have been out for a little bit now. On this slide, I don't have. We also have some pre-releases. So there's a new pre-release for VS Code. There's the 17.11 release for VS that is a preview. And there's some cool stuff in the VS Code release you can take a look at, like debugging to desktop clients. Our templates are updated to use managed identity for the bot registration, so you can get a little more cred-free, which is something that we're focused on here at Microsoft. So we're trying to help you get started with that as well. And there's also on the CLI, we have the uninstall command to help you clean up some of the resources, which has been a long time request. So that'll help you uninstall your app and bot registration and stuff like that. And we're also trying out some new ways to help guide you through the projects with some code tours. So this is something in some of our templates now you might start to see in the pre-releases. So if you want to chat with me about that and tell me what's great and what's not, there's a link down there, TTK chat. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Excellent stuff. All right, let's move over to script samples with Paul Bullock.
Hey, David, thank you. So script samples is a place where you can share your PowerShell scripts with the community, or Bash scripts, if you prefer that. So this could be created with the Microsoft SDK, PnP PowerShell, SPO Management Shell, CLI, and many, many more. There's really no limit. So if there's something you want to add that's a new type, then by all means reach out and I'll get that added to the site so it supports that. And as a bonus, the samples are also integrated into the Microsoft Sample Solution Gallery, which is super, super cool. So we have 3 new wonderful samples. So we've got updated site logo and thumbnail by Reshmi Aklu. We've also got update SharePoint list item with changing modified by and modified fields by Guido Zambada. And then another one from Reshmi, find SharePoint framework packages in a tenant and site collection app catalog, which is super, super cool. I've also done a minor tweak to the site as well. So for those PowerShell scripts that are supported or at least help your Copilot rollout, I've added a category on the site so you can now see which samples relate to that. So that'd be helpful if you're doing that exercise. But by all means, I'm open to new contributions, or if you need help or you're thinking of contributing and not quite sure, by all means, reach out to me. I'm usually quite friendly. Hopefully David can attest to that. But yeah, reach out by LinkedIn or Twitter. I'm open to DMs and stuff to help you get forward. We've also got some great documentation on the site as well. And remember to opt in. You'll be in line for a badge. So I've got those badges that we've worked on this year for 3 levels of contribution. But super, super thank you for the contributions. And back to you, David.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. And I can attest, Paul is a good guy and a friendly guy. So definitely reach out. And friends, this is one of the easiest ways to contribute, by the way, because we all have those utility scripts that we've done that do something useful. Some are small, some are big. Share them with the world. I guarantee you will find value. You'll get bitten by the bug in a good way, and you'll be wanting to share even more. It's a great way. And Paul's a friendly guy. So, all right, Microsoft Teams samples. So there is a plethora of these. Bob is out today, but he promised that he will be back on the next call with 2 samples, not 1, but 2. So we look forward to that. You can check them all out at aka.ms/Teams app samples. And of course, the links are also in the chat for that. So still welcome more contributions. Check them out. Let's move over to Power Platform with Kate.
Yes, hello. So we have a new marvelous sample in the Power Platform Sample Solutions Gallery from the Manish Solanki. And this sample is a great illustration how you can embed images, more than 1 megabyte images in the body of your email and send it using the HTTP request. So try it out. And this sample is all our samples completely free and unmanaged. So you can download it, have fun, learn, and incorporate in your projects. And also, I encourage everybody to share your work in the Power Platform Sample Solutions Gallery. If you would like to know more, follow the link that you see on the slide or reach out to me via LinkedIn. I will be more than happy to help you, and let's grow together. Back to you, David.
Awesome, Kate. I love the way you called that, by the way. Marvelous. It's like Edna Mode, right? Marvelous, darling. It's marvelous. I'm going to have to steal that. I love it. All right, everybody. What time is it? It is camera time, picture time, together mode time, whatever you want to call it. So let's get those excellent faces showing up in the cameras. And I will move this on over. We will do this to get as much room as possible. Excellent. You're all looking great, great, great. Let me start setting up Camtasia to be ready for us. Go. Woo. Wonderful. All right. We got just a couple more seconds left for those that would like to turn their cameras on. Plenty of spaces. You know, this whole digital space is dynamic. It just grows. Just grows. I see Nick out there looking great. I see Annie. I see Steve, Corey, Don. All right. Peter, looking great, everybody. All right. Couple more seconds. Come on. You're going to lose out. Going to lose out. Don't want to lose out. All right. Let's start this up. 3, 2, 1. All right. Wave to the community. Looking fantastic, everybody. Love the smiles. Love the passion. Guido's doing the dance. Looks great. Looks great. All right. Okay. Let's move on then to our amazing presenters of the day. So our first demo today is by Syed, and it's on how to build an office disinfect tracker with Power Apps and SharePoint. Syed, you are a presenter, so feel free to take on over the screen and start your presentation. You should be able to unmute. I see you as a presenter. Syed, are you with us? There you go. You're unmuted now. Can you say something?
Hello.
Yep, there you go. Do you want to start sharing?
I'm audible. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Okay, so
Go ahead and take over the screen share, Syed, to start presenting. There you go.
okay, is it working now?
Let's see. It looks like, yeah, I think we're just seeing your your together mode on your screen. So, yep.
Yeah.
If you wanna... Oh, it looks like you stopped sharing.
Yes, it's working, right? Okay.
No, it stopped sharing. Gonna start sharing it out again. There you go. Looks like, okay, looks like I see, yeah, we see your browser. So you're showing off the Teams. There we go. Looks like we're getting into place. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, can you? Okay. Okay, thank you, everyone. And the thing, my today's title is how to build an office in disinfect tracker with Power Apps and SharePoint. So the app's name I've given is Infectra. It's a track office disinfect work. Okay. Now, before I start, I just want to tell a bit about me. I was born in Bangladesh, but living here for the last 10 years, where I completed my degrees in software engineering. Well, my career began as a SharePoint developer, and now I'm working as a Power Platform developer remotely, of course, and kind of focused on Power Apps and Power Automate. To be honest, I also have experience as a full-time computer science lecturer at a private university in my local country. And additionally, I create some tutorial videos for aspiring platform developers. Okay, so a bit introduction of the apps is in this Office Disinfect tracking mobile app developed with Microsoft Power Apps Canvas app. The primary function is a monitor and ensure the completion of Office Disinfect task by leveraging the capability of Power Apps, and which is also user-friendly interfaces. Okay, what are the features? We can add new inspection work, update inspection work, taking work completion photos, sending notifications to IT support team, which is on my team, which is on my Microsoft Teams. Can send email, can check Office email, and also calling IT teams for emergency purposes. So the connectors I have leveraged is a SharePoint Online, where I'm saving all the data and Microsoft Teams and created the channel for IT support channels, and also the Outlook Office 365 Outlook connectors to send email. Okay, start a demo. Okay, this is the SharePoint, and this is my SharePoint list where I am saving all the Office disinfect tracking details. Now, this is my apps. Okay, this is the dashboard where I can see all the disinfect tracking list with their status. So I add an inspection, select the project classification, check item, let's say laptop and laptop, monitor, any specific disinfect not applicable. So what is going to be inspection date? Let's say tomorrow. Person in charge is outside person, so I can type the person in charge. The inspector name is, let's say I'm the inspector, so it's coming from my MC65 business license users. Problem, let's say suggestions not applicable. Now I want to file. Click. Sorry for the delay. Today my internet is quite slow. Okay, the new inspection details added successfully. Now it will get back to our dashboard. Okay, so this is my new inspection details where I can see the details of the inspection and yeah, and the photos I have just uploaded, and then I can also download the photos on my local drive when I'm using my mobile. We can also delete our disinfect work. Now, here is the thing. Currently, it's showing a pending, and when I click edit, I can't change because I'm a user. I can't change the status for. So where I can change the status is from my SharePoint list. Basically, this SharePoint list is the only the admin can use, so they can update the status from the list. I can also send the notification to the IT teams on Teams channel. Okay, so IT department, IT support team already got the information. Dear IT teams, okay, this is the information just received from IT support. I can also call them, as I said, for emergency purposes. Can send an email to them directly to IT support team. This is the new one just now added. So from here, it's showing pending, but as an admin, I can change the status once I see all the work detailed from here. So from here, I change the status. to complete, save. Now refresh the dashboard. So now it's showing completed the status. Moreover, I can also check the email. It's directly coming from my Office 365 Business Basic email that I purchased with the license. Looks like my internet is too slow. Okay, these are the emails I'm getting from directly from my inbox. Let's say if they send any emails, then it will trigger on my gallery list that I've added with my HTML control, so I can see all the emails from my inbox. So that's all from me, and thank you so much.
Syed, great job. Thank you for sharing that. Syed's got some links and stuff, everybody, as well, from some videos and his blog that we'll share into the chat. But Syed, really appreciate it. I think this is your first demo on the call. So again, appreciate you taking the time out to share with us. And nice job. We'll look forward to the next one. So thank you. All right,
So
next up. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Next one up is Anna, and Anna is here to talk about how to automate record creation and data extraction and AI summarization. Woo, that's a lot using Power Platform, so yes. I can't wait. Anna, take on over.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I will share my screen in a second. I do have a co-presenter that is here with me. We are going to make it happen in the time that we have. So 1 second. This is the screen that I need to share, and I will present. The details on the presentation, I just don't want to go through because the important part of this presentation is just a demo, but this is the huge name that David was mentioning, and the solution architecture was made by my colleague Denisa, who was also in the call, and she will introduce herself in a minute, and myself. We work together. I love working with her, and I'm trying to drag her into the community, so just, reach out to her. So this is us. She's a master maker and also an MCT, and I'm an MVP and HR solution architect. Denisa, can you say hi?
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here and meet everyone for the first time. So as Anna said, I'm Denisa. I'm just a technology enthusiast. I just love it when I can build fun stuff in Power Platform. And if the need arises, also speak about it as we do today.
Yes. So I drag her in. It was not planned like this, but she created this with me, so we are sharing it together. So what I would like to share you is this user and on how the flow works. I'm happy to discuss it afterwards, but I think that we should spend a lot of time in the architecture of the solution, which is the one that follows, that we can also share it with you. We will have a start of the process that will be triggered by an email, a document that is coming through an email. Then this will be shared with Power Automate. We will use AI Builder and GPT, and then we will receive that feedback. It will go through an email because for responsible AI, we do need to have approvals. Then there's another background process that after the approval will create the record in the app, and then we can consume that record. I know this sounds beautiful, but let's see how this works. So the first thing that I'm going to do, hopefully you can see this email. We're going to trigger the process, and this is an email that I'm sending to Denisa with the subject CV and with the CV attached. So I'm going to send it over, and Denisa will take over for a second to show you how the process flow works, and then I will take over again just to show you how the app works. Denisa, go ahead.
Okay, then allow me to share. And let me know when I started sharing.
You're sharing.
You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we have here is the, it's Power Automate. And the way this all the magic starts is when Anna sent me the CV, yeah, and this is what triggers the flow, and we are trying to do this live, yeah, as you see, yes, it started. Okay. So, okay, this is the new view. So everything starts whenever a candidate sends us an email with a CV attached. Yeah, we have here some conditions. For example, that the email is contains CV in the title, or the email contains an attachment. Yeah, we have here some variables. And then, of course, the first thing we check is to see if the email, the attachment is actually a valid attachment. Yeah, so that it's not, for example, a picture in the signature or something. Yeah, and then if it isn't a valid attachment, of course, the flow stops. But if it is a valid attachment, then we send it through AI Builder. We also send it through a feedback loop, and this is actually very interesting because it allows us to make our model better with the input that we receive. So we can save this to AI Builder to further improve the model. Then we send this email, yeah. Part of responsible AI, as Anna said, is to always check, to have a real person check if this is of the right confidence, and so on and so forth. Yeah, and then of course we have a duplicate check. Yeah, so it checks first if that entry is already in our system based on the email address. If it is, of course, we get a notification and the flow stops. If it isn't, we send it through GPT prompt. This summarizes the whole email. Yeah, the whole body of the email. We have a very funny prompt there to actually summarize it in a funny way. You will get to see this soon. Yeah, and then we add a new candidate. We upload the CV so that the HR person can check the CV, and then it's a success. Yeah. So I will hand the mic back over to Anna, and she will walk you through the app.
Yes. So let's see if I'm sharing my screen. You should see my architecture. Can you tell me, Denisa, if that's
Yes.
accurate? Perfect. I will move you to my second screen so I can see your faces. All right. So what I'm going to show you now is just, not just, but this app that we have created. The app, it doesn't have a very original name, honestly, but what is quite original, and this is Denisa's responsibility, is like the scenario we're working with, which is adventure. How is the name, Denisa? Adventures. Yes. Adventures. Sorry, I'm the worst with that. So we have our candidate. Our candidates are all superheroes or something like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh the app and make sure that the CV that I just sent is already added to the list. So you can see here that we have Jessica Jones, which is the email that I sent to Denisa that was summarized and parsed through our Power Automate. You can see that we have the record. I'm just going to zoom in. We have like the record, we have the name, the alias. So all of these fields that you're seeing here are extracted on based on the AI module that we just share. We also have the CV that I will show you. So we also do have the attachment that will open here. And the attachment has like a lot of information, like, you know, the complete CV that you may also have. So one of the things that we made and we used AI summarization is for this summary that says like, it shows us a little bit of the entire CV and the entire person and candidate, and just gives us like a very tiny description of what this person capabilities are. So you can see here that they're a real superhero without the cape, specialized in private investigation and so on. So this is something generated with AI Builder and GPT. And then we do also have like the specialty, the previous company, and, you know, some other stuff. We can also add some notes over here. So if we interview the person, we can add some notes. But I would like to share with you before it's too late. We do also, this is a model-driven app, we do also have a Copilot, and the Copilot for consumption in this case it's really good. Here we have just 23 records, but you can have, I don't know, 100,000. So that happens with HR or with any other scenario. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with some of the prompts that we have built and tested. So in this case, for example, I need a candidate who speaks several intergalactic languages. So if I prompt this, luckily, I don't know why Copilot is a little bit slow today. Yeah, so this didn't work. We tested before, but I don't know. Let me refresh and we will see if this works again. And if not, we will move forward to the next prompt. Let's see if this one works. Well, this is about the prompt engineering situation, right? So we tried it before today. We tested and it worked, but you know. All right. So here we want to summarize the Tony Stark candidate information. So let's see if it works, and if it doesn't work, we will continue, and that's it. We are just asking information about the records that are already created. So you can see here that it retrieved a short summary of this person. Candidate with superhero-like background. He's a CEO. Where does he work? He has a master in science and electrical engineering from MIT and a bachelor of science in physics and blah, blah, blah. And then we can, you know, select here and it will bring us to the record of the person, right? So this is like one of the prompts that we have, but this is when we already know the candidate. What happens when we don't know the candidate and we want to like find out who is the person that should match best the requisitions that we have? And even though this is an HR app, it can work for like identification of proposals or many other scenarios that you can project track or something like that. That could also work. So let's see if this one works. Yeah, so we have a candidate with PhD in physics, and we're going to go here for the record. You can see that Denisa created this record, and we have the same. We have the same with the summary and all of that. We do also have here the we have here. Okay, we heard the CV, as you see, with all the information, and this is all created using Power Automate and this situation. So I had another prompt, but we're running out of time and I don't want to steal any presenter's time. So this is the architecture that Denisa and I created. Explains a bit. It's not beautiful. It's not like serious architecture, like the ones that you present in a project maybe, but it's like a fun way to see it. So before leaving, and I don't know if we're okay with time, I would like to say thank you. You can reach out to us in LinkedIn. Denisa is a new joiner to the community, so I will love if you can reach out to her And yeah, you can find us on LinkedIn, and you can find me also in innesurrutia.com. And I hope that was not so fast, but I just feel that we need to move fast for the presentation. So thank you very much, everyone.
Anna, thank you, and Denisa, that was fantastic. Denisa, welcome to the community. So we welcome you back anytime. You guys did great. That was awesome. In fact, you might even say it was smashing, maybe Hulk smashing to the Avengers theme. So anyways, fantastic job, everybody. Love it.
Thank you.
All right. Let's move into our final presentation of the day with Maddie Jimison collecting custom feedback on Copilot Studio's generative answers. So Matt, take it away.
David, thank you. I come back just for the Maddie. I just want to let you know that I love it.
Thanks.
All right, so let's just jump right into this. A little bit about me, really quick. So I'm Matt Jimison. I'm a Microsoft MVP in Business Applications and AI Platform. I got my Bachelor of Science in Computer Graphics Technology. Been working in IT my entire career. Got started with SharePoint 2007 MOS back in the day in 2008. And I work as the head of the Copilot and M365 apps platform at Takeda Pharmaceuticals. And my likes, love my family. I love to grill. I love video games. I love barbecue. I love barbecue so much, I'm going to say it multiple times. Bourbon and beer, craft beer. So, all right, that's enough about me. So what we're talking about today, and this actually piggybacks off of the last presentation, is generative AI combined with human validation. And so what are we really talking about? Well, right now we've got really cool ways to be able to integrate data into Copilot Studio. You can bring in public website data, SharePoint data. The knowledge sources that have rolled out are just very expansive. And in the debug mode inside of Copilot Studio, we actually have an opportunity to give feedback. The thumbs up or thumbs down is what we're talking about here. And what we want to do is take this away from a debug mode where we're actually sending feedback to Microsoft, and we want to actually take this into something custom that's going to work in production, something that we can deploy to Teams or wherever, and we can have the users provide feedback to us, and then we get a chance to do something with it. So you're not just unleashing this awesome generative AI capability, but you're also going to be giving human validation to it. So expose it, right? You got a question, you got an answer. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And then being able to say, I want to review these. I want to see what people are saying about the feedback. So this is what we're going to be doing today. And that is actually the 1, 2, 3 recipe would be 1, generative answers, right? We're going to use generative answers to do this, right? Azure OpenAI is going to provide us the responses. We're going to use an adaptive card. So that's what we're going to be putting together to be able to have that sort of looks good. And there are a lot of different ways we could go with it. And then we're going to have a topic triggered by a message event. So we're going to get a different look at something that you've been able to do in Copilot Studio or Power Virtual Agents, a different type of trigger that maybe is not as common, but one that's going to allow us to passively collect that feedback, because it's important. We don't want to ask them every single time we give an answer, did you like it? Yes or no? Like interrupt the flow of the conversation. We want to give them those buttons to say they're here if you need them, right? But it's not something you have to do, because we know users are going to get frustrated if we like put the actual yes or no feedback into the flow before they can continue the conversation. So because of that, we handle the trigger a little bit differently. And so we're going to pass data in from the adaptive card to that topic. And then I'm going to show you some stuff today with App Insights. You can do whatever you want with this data, and we'll make this sample available on my site in a blog post here in the future. But if you wanted to, for example, be able to take this data into a Power Automate flow, send it via email, if you wanted to add it to SharePoint, to Dataverse, et cetera, you could do all of that. And this structure will get you started as far as how to get to that point. So that is the end of the slides, but not the demo. All right, so here we are in Copilot Studio. We're going to go ahead and create a new Copilot. I am going to actually just skip over and to the configure, and I'm going to, because I said barbecue 3 times at the beginning, I'm going to go ahead and add a website, KamadoJoe.com. So I'm a Kamado griller. So woo woo for any of the Kamado grillers out there. And I'm going to go ahead and add that, and let's see, that looks good, and let's go ahead and create it. Now there's actually something new that's really cool, and it's in preview right now in Copilot Studio, and that is the fact that now Copilot can sort of act like ChatGPT. And when I say that, I mean it actually can handle queries if we would like it to outside of the scope of our knowledge sources. And so what exactly do I mean when I say that? Well, that is actually right here when we're talking about knowledge and the fact that we can allow the AI to use its own general knowledge preview. And so what that actually means is I can do something like, how tall is Michael Jordan, which I can promise you is not on the Kamado Joe website. Just trust me on that one. And we're going to actually, because that's enabled, get a response back. And this is really interesting too, right? You might think this particular feedback is that Microsoft's injecting here. If you look, the feedback and the source information are only available in debug mode. So that's what I was talking about. Sort of like, it's not even just that you want to intercept the feedback. This isn't something, if we publish this bot right now to Teams, we would see. This would all drop off, right? Our solution is going to actually stick though. So that's what we're going to be replacing, is being able to take that. And what I started with essentially was an adaptive card. I played with that, love adaptivecards.io, and we've got this sort of looks good, needs work. We've got the thumbs up emoji, thumbs down. Again, you could do whatever you wanted here, but this is sort of just a kind of a, here's a get started. And so what I did was I have this adaptive card. So we're going to make a couple changes. So we're going to go into topics, and we're going to go into system, and we're going to look for the conversational booster topic, and we're going to jump into that. And so there's a few things happening on this create generative answers that we need to change. If we scroll down to the very bottom and we go over to advanced, we're going to see this ability to save the LLM response. And you can see by default, it says text only, and then it says complete, which would be recommended. And we're going to save that as a answer, and that's a record. It's a complex type, so it has multiple sub properties to it. And the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to essentially say, hey, Copilot Studio, don't send a message. And we could potentially leave this, right? This gives us 100% control of what comes back. But again, we want to sort of just take over that actual experience. And so we've got that set up now where we're going to have all the information coming back from the answer, and we're going to have the ability to choose what we want to do with it. So we're going to go ahead and close that down. Now, by default, because we're no longer asking it to show the answer, we're going to see that if we don't do anything else, right, there would be no answer. So what we would do here is we put in a message, and then let's go ahead and look in this system variable. And again, this record, which is complex, has a lot of different properties. And what we actually want is the answer.text.markdown content. So that's actually going to give us the same type of response over here. And so I can actually save that. And I can say something like, who did Michael Jordan play for? I know who he played for, I promise. He did play for a couple teams, so to be fair. Okay, so let's look. We still get our response. It's still Markdown. We're not getting this anymore, right? Because again, we've sort of changed the game, so we're off to a pretty good start. The next thing that we want to do is we want to go down here to this message. We want to add an adaptive card. And so once this opens up, what we want to do is paste in that adaptive card that I had showed before. So again, now we're making really good progress, and we've got a good look here, and we've got the looks good look and the needs work, but we're not actually collecting any feedback. If you look at this adaptive card, it's just essentially an action, right? And we've got a little bit of data in here. It's some just sort of false data, right? We're basically sending over this data attribute inside of this action set is all of the data that's going to come over to the other topic that we're going to create. And so what we want to do is we want to be more dynamic. We want to actually be able to put in the values of what started this particular topic. So what did the user type, and then what was the answer that we got back. So for that, we're going to change this a little bit, and for time purposes, again, I'm going to go ahead and copy something in here. I'm going to change this adaptive card to a formula because we, again, want to dynamically inject data. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you really quickly what were the main things that I did here, and we've got a couple things that we need to fix. So we've got basically now where this message event, we're hard coding. This is our answer feedback event. We've got like, and then we've got the prompt, and that is coming from system.activity.text. And then we've got the response. That's going to be this topic's answer, and it's that text.markdown content that I had mentioned. And then this right here, I added this at the last second, this blue and red, this positive and destructive style to give them that blue-red type style. So that's what that is. And so now we're basically, this block of data is going to dynamically be able to show us what the prompt was, what did I ask, and then the response back, and right from the actual model. And so we'll go ahead and save that. Okay, and so now the next thing that we need to do is, if we were to click on this, right, we'd have the buttons, but nothing's actually managing the clicking of that. So we need to add a new topic. So we are going to go ahead and go over to topics. And we are going to add a new one. And I am going to, let's see here. I am missing some window space because of the fact that I have, there we go. All right. So we're going to do topic from blank, and then we're going to go in here and we're going to change this type of topic. So we'll look at the properties, and we're going to actually change this here to message received. Start the topic every time a message is received from the user. And so we're going to click that. Now, the thing about this is that every single time a message is received, like this topic will literally trigger, you could add whatever adaptive cards you wanted to anywhere. It's going to always trigger every single time. Right, but we don't actually want it to do that, because that's not the goal here, is to handle every single thing happening. We are actually doing, we'll call this topic custom feedback, right? And so what we want to do is we want to set a condition. We want to change this to a formula. And what we're just trying to say here is that this is when we want you to run this. So what did we just say? Well, we're just basically saying that that data block that we just showed comes over as system.activity.value. So we're basically saying, like, is there a message event in it that's not blank? And then we're going to cast that message event to text, because it doesn't yet understand what that data is. And we're going to say if it's answer feedback. So at this point, this topic now is only going to run when we pass that over. Now, you could use it for multiple things if you wanted to. That would be totally fine. But we've got it set up so that we don't have to worry about this topic always triggering. So the next thing we're going to do is we want to make it easier to work with that actual value. And so we're going to actually look to parse a value. And we're going to, the value that we're going to parse is, see, we'll go in here and go into formula, is going to be system.activity.value. So it talks about that again. It's untyped object. We have no idea what it looks like. It could be anything. And then on the data, we're going to do this from sample data. And then what we're going to do is just pass in that schema. We're just going to basically show it the schema that we set up. Okay, so message event, my event, like, false, prompt, response. So this follows what we already added in the other event. Okay. Last thing we have to do is basically just create a new variable for that. And we will go ahead and give it a little bit better name. And we will say we'll call it feedback. All right. So now we have the actual feedback that is coming in. And there's one other thing that we want to do. I'm going to jump over to App Insights, and I'm going to grab this connection string. And this, let's go back into Copilot Studio. We're going to go over to settings. We don't want to leave. We want to save this first. And we are just going to quickly add this actually to the bot. So I'm going to go to Copilot Details and Advanced, and I'm just literally going to paste in that connection string exactly as I got it. This has me connected to App Insights. Again, a lot of different ways you could do this, but another thing that we'll now be able to show in the demo is the ability to do something in App Insights. And so to log, right, very easily, mind you. So if we go to Advanced, we can log a custom telemetry event. And if I come over here and I click Properties, this is where I can give it a name. And so for this particular one, we could say, let me see what we said, custom feedback. And then as far as the properties go, we can then just paste in whatever we want here as far as the formula. And again, we're going to go ahead and just copy paste here. And so what we've got is we're basically logging the same thing, but we're also taking in the user's email address. So inside of App Insights, we're going to have a user email. We're going to have a prompt, the response, and then did they like it? Yes or no. And so that's going to go into App Insights. This is here when I mentioned at the very beginning of this that I said you can do whatever you want with this data. At this point, and you have the feedback record, we can truly do whatever we want, pass it to Power Automate, etc. Here, we're going to say, you know what, we're going to log it in App Insights, and then we're going to, maybe somebody's going to bring it into a Power BI report or whatnot, but we could do whatever we wanted here. The last thing that we're going to do here is we're going to actually add a condition, and we're going to say if feedback.like is equal to true, then we're going to put a little message here, and we're just going to say Thank you. Glad you enjoyed the response. And then over here, if they didn't like it, we're going to say, we're so sorry. We'll do better next time. Now, this would also be an opportunity potentially here, if we wanted to, where we could say, what didn't you like, right? And we could ask a question. We might even then log that answer too, right? But we'll keep it pretty simple here for this particular use case. Okay, so now let's see if what we've done worked. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we're going to restart the conversation. And let's say, what accessories does the Kamado Joe have? And again, keep in mind that where we intercepted this and inside that actual boosting topic, this is going to happen for all of the knowledge bases. Now, if you have custom topics that you add and the way you handle it, you can set that up differently, but we're using sort of the generic topic. So even if I asked again about where was Michael Jordan born, right? It doesn't matter whether or not it's actually coming from my knowledge source or not. It's getting output from that topic, okay? So now we have our looks good, needs work. And so if we click one of these, so look, thank you, glad you enjoyed the response. If we would have said needs work on that, we're so sorry, we'll do better next time. So this is, again, pretty passive, right? Users can provide feedback if they want to. They absolutely don't have to. But now, instead of it going to Microsoft, this is something that's going to go directly to us. So the last thing that I will show to wrap up the demo is we're going to go back to App Insights, and we are going to do a new query. And I will go ahead and again copy some information over, and we will see here. Wait for this to load. It is really loving me right now. See if we could just refresh this. Let's try that one more time. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to go ahead and go to last 7 days. So I had some feedback that already came in, because what's going to happen is when I just clicked that needs work, good job, whatever, it's going to take a couple minutes for that information to make its way into App Insights. It is getting logged, I promise, but we're not going to, since we're almost here at 11 o'clock, we'll go ahead and just show you. So these are other things where I was essentially liking or not liking one. And so again, you can see who was the user, what was the prompt that came in, what was the response. And so this particular query is something that I absolutely could give, again, to a Power BI developer, where we could build a dashboard where we could get that feedback in, have someone monitor it, etc. But again, you've got now passive feedback where we're going to be able to see what generative AI is saying, and we're going to be able to see that validation from the user and be able to follow up accordingly. So that is it. And with that, thank you.
Excellent stuff, Matt. Really appreciate it. I love how you walked through everything there. Looked great. You might even say that the presentation was smoking hot, grilled to perfection. Nice. Maybe had everybody fired up, sizzling with enthusiasm. It's a feast of knowledge. All right, I quit, everybody. Yeah, you're all like puking at this point. Okay. All right, let's wrap up the call. Thank you, Matt. Syed, Anna, Denisa, Matt, thank you. You're all amazing presenters. We appreciate your passion for the community. Again, everybody, they were welcome to present as well as you are. So show them some love. Tell them that they did a great job. Let them know how much you appreciate them sharing their knowledge, because it is a lot of hard work to put these presentations together and also compress them to the amount of time that we have for the call. So thank you, all 4 of you today. All right, well, we'd love to get some feedback about these calls. If you have any to provide or just want to let us know that things are going well, we appreciate that as well. You can provide that at ak.ms/community/calls/feedback, and we would love to hear what's working, what's not. It allows us to ensure that everything is set up in a way that is working for all of you. So thank you. The recording will be available in 24 hours on the Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel, usually less than that. You can get access to that at ak.ms/community/YouTube. If you subscribe and opt in for the alerts, as soon as something is published, you will get that alert as soon as it happens. That's the best way. You may see it in Teams saying that it's ready to download, but it is not. Unless you're in that tenant, you will not be able to access it. You can follow us on X or Twitter or the artist formerly known as whatever it is next day at M365PNP. course, again, we've got our updates on LinkedIn as well as our meetups. The next M365 and Power Platform bi-weekly call 2 weeks from today, August 1st at 7 a.m. The next Viva Connections and SharePoint Framework call will be next week, July 25th. We've got 2 amazing presentations ready to go there. I know Hugo Bernier will be back with one, so we're excited for both those presentations. So excellent job, everybody. Again, thank you for all the amazing contributions that you make. Thank you for being here. We would not have the passion in this community if it were not for the hearts of all of you, and we love you for it. So thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful weekend as we move into it. Bye-bye.